Welcome to the Deep Talk channel. Have you ever felt like there's a hidden rule book for navigating success, for truly understanding the dynamics of influence and control?
Yeah, like maybe you've seen someone just glide up the ladder or some public figure who seems untouchable and you wonder, what's their secret?
Exactly. Well, today we're taking a deep dive into exactly that, a compendium that has captivated and perhaps even caused a bit of a stir for decades.
We're talking about Robert Greene's, monumental work, The 48 Laws of Power.
Right. And it's not just a book, is it? It's been called a strategic compendium, a guide maybe to really playing the power game.
And Greene's central idea, the core of it, isn't about power as some, obvious brute force thing, especially not today.
Oh, definitely not.
He actually argues that it's dangerous now to seem too power hungry or to make those really overt, aggressive moves.
Well, what's the alternative then?
It's all about subtlety, incredible subtlety. He says we need to seem fair and decent, but at the same time be congenial yet cunning, democratic yet devious.
Wow, that's quite a balancing act. Congenial yet cunning.
It is, and it's this nuanced, often kind of paradoxical approach that Greene suggests is absolutely essential if you want real influence in today's world.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you listening right now? Well, whether you're trying to navigate the, let's say, complex waters of a corporate boardroom,
or just trying to get ahead in your career.
Right, or understand social dynamics, or maybe just figure out the hidden mechanics of human interaction, this deep dive is basically designed as a shortcut. It's about getting you well informed.
It really is about gaining a certain way of looking at the world, as Greene puts it.
A shift in perspective.
Exactly. A shift that can unlock insights into how power really operates around you. Not just in big politics, but in your everyday life too.
It gives you a lens, doesn't it? To observe, analyze, maybe even defend yourself against these strategic plays happening all around.
Precisely. And our mission today is really to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge, the key insights from this, let's face it, controversial but hugely influential text.
We'll explore some of the most compelling laws, what they really imply for how you understand people.
Yeah, we'll unpack not just what the laws say, but why they might actually work or, why they might even be dangerous sometimes.
It's about spotting these patterns, isn't it? Whether you'd ever use them yourself or just want to know when they're being used on you.
Right. Awareness is key.
Okay, let's unpack this foundational philosophy then. If power isn't about brute force anymore, but about cunning, about shifting perspectives, where do we even begin to really apply this way of looking at the world?
Well, Greene is really clear on this. He says, living the game of power requires a certain way of looking at the world, a shifting of perspective. It's way more than just memorizing rules.
My mindset.
It's totally mindset. You have to internalize it. And the book talks about these basic skills you need to actually apply the laws.
Skills like what?
Things like intense observation, being able to detach emotionally, having a really sharp, almost clinical understanding of human psychology. The core idea is that power is a game. Like chess, maybe, but the stakes are much, much higher. It needs specific skills, careful planning, and this relentless focus on strategic advantage.
And the subtlety aspect is key.
Absolutely critical. Greene hammers this home again and again. Overt displays of power today, almost always a bad idea. A liability.
The age of emperors showing off their might is over.
Long gone. Today, real influence comes through, subtle moves, hidden actions, indirect pressure. That's what gets results. You have to look fair and decent on the outside.
But underneath?
Underneath, your strategy is anything but transparent. That deep understanding of covert influence, that's the foundation for all 48 laws. Looking harmless while being, formidable.
That makes a lot of sense, especially now. We condemn obvious ambition, but often reward subtle manipulation without even realizing it.
Exactly.
So if power is about cunning and perspective shifts, let's start with a law that I think many people find instantly relatable, especially at work.
Okay, which one?
The one that hits home for anyone who's ever tried to impress a boss or a mentor or even just a team leader.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Let's dive into Law 1. Never outshine the master. The core message here is, pretty direct and maybe a bit provocative.
It is.
Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please and impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. Inspire, fear, and insecurity.
Oof, yeah.
And then it says, make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? We're always told to showcase our best work.
Totally counterintuitive, goes against everything like lean-in culture tells you, but its power, its potency lies in that deep psychological understanding Greene keeps coming back to.
Explain that a bit more, the psychology behind it.
Okay, think about the master's ego. And master here means anyone in charge, CEO, professor, even a family head, maybe. People in power value their position, their control, and often how competent they seem. So when someone below them shows off exceptional talent, especially if it seems to eclipse theirs, yeah, it can trigger these really primal fears. Fear of being replaced, fear of looking less smart, less capable, fear of losing control, prestige.
And it might not even be conscious, right?
Often not. It's more like an instinctive reaction to a perceived threat, a challenge to their place in the hierarchy. Greene argues that trying too hard to impress, shining too brightly, backfires because it creates this fear and insecurity.
So you think you're helping your case, but you're actually making an enemy.
Pretty much. You're creating an antagonist out of your superior.
So the path to the heights of power, according to Greene, involves this clever flip.
How so?
Instead of showing off your own brilliance directly, you become like the invisible architect of their success.
Okay.
You find the data that makes their idea look genius. You execute their vision flawlessly. Maybe you even subtly suggest ideas they can present as their own. They get the credit. But where's the reward for you then?
The reward isn't immediate credit. It's the master's comfort. They're feeling secure and elevated because of you. That becomes your strategic asset.
Ah, I see.
They're much more likely to promote or protect someone who makes them feel good, makes them feel brilliant, rather than someone who makes them feel threatened. It's a long game.
You subtly inflate their ego and make yourself indispensable in a way they might not even notice.
Exactly. They might not even consciously recognize why they value you so much.
But isn't there a really fine line there? If you're always making your boss look good, always deferring, don't you risk just disappearing, becoming the quiet worker bee who never gets seen as leader material?
That's a really sharp question. And it gets to the nuance Greene explores. He's not saying be invisible forever.
Right.
The skill is knowing when to dim your light and when to let it shine a bit. This law, never outshine, is especially powerful early on. When you're building trust, proving your value.
Establishing yourself.
Right. Once you've built that trust, once you're seen as indispensable and maybe your own position is more secure, then you can start shifting how you apply it.
So how do you shift?
Greene suggests a really skilled person can eventually show their own brilliance, but always in a way that still helps the master's bigger goals or vision. Or you frame it as like a natural evolution from the master's original idea.
So it looks like you're building on their legacy, not tearing it down.
Exactly. Not a usurpation. It's less about totally suppressing your talent, more about strategically channeling it for your own long-term aims. It's a delicate dance, for sure.
It really is. So what does this mean for you listening? In your career, maybe even in group projects at school or, volunteer groups, have you ever seen someone accidentally dim their own light by being too bright?
It happens all the time.
Maybe correcting a superior in a meeting? Or giving a presentation that was so good it just completely overshadowed the team leader?
Yeah, makes the leader look bad.
Let's imagine a scenario. You're a sharp young analyst. You find a major flaw in the company's new big strategy, something your direct boss totally missed.
Okay. Risky situation.
Law 1 would suggest, instead of blasting this out publicly and showing up your boss,
you go to them privately.
Right. You present the solution to them first. Maybe you frame it as a refinement of their original idea. Or you offer to do the work to enhance the strategy.
Making them look good for catching it or for having such a smart subordinate.
Exactly. Your brilliant work makes them look good, enhances their standing. And that, Greene says, is your path forward.
It's all about managing those upward relationships carefully.
That whole idea really makes you think about office politics differently, doesn't it?
It really does.
And speaking of perceptions, another law that just hits hard today, especially in our image-obsessed world, is Law 5. So much depends on reputation guarded with your life.
Oh, absolutely. This one is huge.
Greene calls it the cornerstone of power. He says, through reputation alone, you can intimidate and win. Once it slips, however, you are vulnerable and will be attacked on all sides. Make your reputation unassailable.
That phrase, cornerstone of power, really sums it up. Reputation, for Greene, isn't just nice to have, it's your most valuable asset. the foundation.
It's a shield and a weapon.
Both. A strong reputation for competence, integrity, even ruthlessness sometimes can intimidate people before you even have to act. They might back down just based on what they've heard about you.
Creates an invisible fortress.
Exactly. It deters attacks just by existing. And Greene uses tons of examples, like the Duc de Guise in France. His military reputation and popularity became so massive
That it became a threat.
Precisely. A threat to the king, Henry III. He ended up assassinated because his reputation was seen as outshining the monarchs. Too powerful.
Wow.
Or flip it around. Think of Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor. He deliberately cultivated this fearsome reputation. And that often let him achieve his goals just through sheer intimidation and negotiation. No battles needed because everyone already believed in his strategic genius and his iron will. These aren't just modern ideas. Greene shows they're timeless.
But he also stresses how fragile it is.
Extremely fragile. Once it slips, even a little bit, that shield just shatters. You become instantly vulnerable, and then, Greene warns, you get attacked on all sides.
Like sharks smelling blood in the water.
Exactly like that. A damaged reputation signals weakness, and everyone who feared or respected you before might suddenly see an opportunity.
So you need constant defense.
Constant proactive defense. You have to be alert to potential attacks and thwart them before they happen. Watching your actions, who you associate with, every public word. Meticulous.
But Greene takes it further, doesn't he, into offense?
He does. And this is where it gets pretty controversial. He talks about the need to destroy your enemies by opening holes in their own reputation. Not direct assault. It's subtle. Insinuation, revealing damaging truths, maybe even spreading carefully crafted rumors that just erode their standing.
Plant the seed of doubt.
Exactly. Plant the seed, then step back and let public opinion hang them, as he puts it. Or let their own mistakes finish the job. It's very indirect, very manipulative.
Wow, that takes self-preservation to a whole different level. It sounds ruthless.
It can be read that way, certainly.
And here's where it gets really interesting for you listening, right? Especially today. Information, true or false, spreads like wildfire online. Global in minutes.
The digital footprint is permanent.
So how vital is this law now with social media, 24/7 news, cancel culture? What stands out to you about protecting your image when one wrong tweet can explode?
It's arguably more critical than ever and infinitely harder.
Think about public figures, brands. They pour millions into managing their image. Crisis PR teams on speed dial.
Absolutely. Take a big tech company facing, say, a data privacy scandal. Their immediate reaction, that forceful PR push, it's not just damage control.
It's reputation defense.
It's desperately trying to rebuild and protect that reputation. Because if it slips, what happens?
Consumer trust evaporates, investors panic, regulators step in.
Attacked on all sides, just like Greene said. It shows how much continuous effort is needed to keep that reputation unassailable now.
Okay, this brings us nicely into the art of strategic interaction, influence, and maybe some more uncomfortable truths. Let's tackle one of the most provocative ones. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies.
Ah, yes. This one always raises eyebrows.
It makes a really striking, almost unsettling claim. Be wary of friends. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. They also become spoiled and tyrannical.
Ouch.
But hire a former enemy, and he will be more loyal than a friend because he has more to prove.
It's a deeply cynical view of human nature, isn't it? But Greene presents it as a fundamental truth of power dynamics.
Why are friends seen as more dangerous? That seems backwards.
It's the paradox. Greene argues that intimacy and familiarity actually breed envy. Friends see your success up close. They know your flaws. They might quietly resent your rise, especially if they feel left behind or, equally deserving.
Or more deserving.
Or more deserving, yeah. Plus, he says friends can become spoiled and tyrannical. They feel entitled to your help, your time, your support, without always feeling they need to earn it consistently.
So their loyalty is fragile, based on what they get from you.
That's the argument. It's seen as conditional based on their perception of your utility and their own self-interest.
Okay, so what about the enemy's part? Why are they supposedly more loyal?
Because a former enemy brought into your camp has more to prove. They need to work harder, be more diligent, to earn your trust and show they're truly loyal now.
They have a reason to demonstrate commitment.
Right. They have a vested interest in proving their worth, shedding old allegiances, overcoming past issues to build a new bond based on, utility.
He even says if you don't have enemies, find a way to make them.
He does. Which sounds crazy, but it's not about personal hatred. It's a cold...
Incredibly frustrating because you couldn't win, but impossible to argue with. Law 9 in action.
Perfect example.
So think about the last time you tried to convince someone. Did arguing really work? Or did showing them or letting them experience the outcome themselves lead to a more lasting agreement?
It really makes you rethink communication, especially if you're in any kind of leadership role.
Imagine a leader pushing a new, maybe unpopular approach. Instead of endless meetings debating it.
They quietly run a pilot project.
Exactly. Demonstrate it works in a controlled way. Show the better efficiency, the improved output.
The concrete results then speak volumes.
Louder than any argument ever could. You convince through evidence, not debate.
It's a much stronger form of persuasion.
Okay, from specific actions to a much grander strategy of flexibility. Let's look at the very last law, Law 48. Assume formlessness.
The culmination in some ways, a very philosophical law.
It advises, by taking a shape, by having a visible plan, you open yourself to attack. That sounds ominous.
It is. Predictability is vulnerability.
So the alternative is, instead of taking a form for your enemy to grasp, keep yourself adaptable and on the move. Accept the fact that nothing is certain and no law is fixed.
Be like water.
The best way to protect yourself is to be as fluid and formless as water. Never bet on stability or lasting order. Everything changes. This sounds like the ultimate defense, strategic unpredictability.
It really is. It's less a tactic, more an overall philosophy for operating in the power game. Having that visible plan, that fixed shape, makes you predictable.
His enemy's a target.
Right. A blueprint of your intentions, your resources, your weaknesses. They know where to hit you. The antidote is constant adaptation, constant movement.
Fluid and formless like water. How does that work in practice?
It means being elusive, shifting, changing, so you never present that static target. It's not just changing plans, it's rejecting a rigid identity.
So not being pinned down by one role, one ideology, predictable habits.
Exactly. You become incredibly hard to anticipate, hard to target. You cultivate the strategic ambiguity that keeps opponents guessing, wasting their energy trying to figure you out, while you remain fluid, uncatchable.
Which requires a big mental shift.
Huge. Accepting that nothing is certain and no law is fixed. You have to let go of rigid plans, rigid rules, recognizing that change is the only constant.
So betting on stability is dangerous.
Foolish and dangerous, according to Greene. Everything changes is the core insight. The most powerful person embraces this flex, embodies it.
What's fascinating here is how it's like a meta strategy. Not just one tactic, it's a way to navigate any situation.
Totally. It's resilience through shapelessness. Surviving and thriving by refusing to be defined or pinned down. Greene points to strategists like Sun Tzu who emphasize being inscrutable.
Or military leaders constantly shifting formations.
Right. Elusive, agile, always capable of reinvention, always surprising, never truly understood.
So what does this mean for you? For your long-term planning, or just how you handle unexpected curveballs? Are you trying to build a fortress solid, but vulnerable to one big hit?
Or are you learning to flow like water?
Adapting, finding new paths around obstacles. Think about a company in, say, the tech industry. Super fast-paced.
Constant change.
If they rigidly stick to a 5-year plan, one product, one model, they could be toast.
Easily outmaneuvered.
But a company that assumes formlessness, maybe they don't commit all in to one thing. They experiment constantly, shift focus with trends, even reorganize internally often.
They stay on the move.
This adaptability lets them respond to disruptions, makes it incredibly hard for rivals to predict their next move or target a fixed weakness. They're like water in a volatile market.
Embodying that fluid resilience.
And we've only really scratched the surface of these 48 laws, but they give a powerful glimpse into Greene's world, right?
Absolutely. It's a deep and complex compendium.
Let's quickly touch on just a few more to give you an even broader sense of the different angles Greene covers in this power game. These are just quick hits, but they add more layers.
Sounds good. There's a huge range of strategic thinking in there. For instance, Law 4, always say less than necessary.
The power of silence.
Sort of. Greene argues that trying to impress with words often backfires. The more you say, the more ordinary you seem, the less in control.
So powerful people are concise.
They impress and intimidate by saying less. They cultivate mystery. Less talk means less chance of saying something foolish or revealing too much. Vagueness can actually create an aura of profundity, even intimidation.
Connects to Law 3, conceal your intentions.
Directly. Saying less naturally conceals more. Think of like Louis XIV, the Sun King. Spoke little, very deliberate. It amplified his authority.
Okay, what else?
How about Law 10? infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky.
Ooh, that sounds harsh.
It is. It basically says emotional states are contagious, like diseases. Helping a drowning man, Greene warns, might just pull you down too.
Yeah.
Misfortune and negativity can spread.
So the advice is?
Stark. Associate with the happy and fortunate instead. Protect your own well-being. Avoid negative influences, almost regardless of empathy. Pure self-preservation.
Wow. A cold take on who you hang out with.
Yeah.
Seeing people as carriers of success or failure.
Pretty much.
And you mentioned unpredictability earlier. What about Law 17? Think of others in suspended terror? Cultivate an air of unpredictability.
Sounds dramatic.
It is dramatic, and Greene says highly effective. People crave patterns. Predictability gives them a sense of control over you.
Makes you easy to figure out.
Right. So by being deliberately unpredictable, you flip that. Behavior that seems inconsistent without obvious purpose keeps people off balance, wears them out trying to guess your next move.
And at its extreme, it can intimidate and terrorize, making opponents hesitant, cautious. It ties right into Law 48's formlessness. Unpredictability is formlessness in action. Think of Picasso, constantly changing styles, keeping everyone guessing.
Maintaining his mystique and control. It does seem like a lot of these laws involve, well, a fair bit of deception or misdirection.
Oh, absolutely. Consider Law 21. Play a sucker. To catch a sucker seemed dumber than your mark.
That sounds fun.
It's wonderfully counterintuitive. Nobody likes feeling stupid, right? Most people want to feel smarter than the next person.
Sure.
So the trick is, make your targets feel smart, even smarter than you. Appear a bit naive, less intelligent, maybe slightly foolish.
Lower their guard.
Exactly. Once they're convinced they're the smarter one, they'll never suspect you have ulterior motives. Makes them incredibly easy to manipulate.
So you weaponize humility.
It combines concealment from Law 3 and saying less from Law 4. Very clever, very manipulative.
Okay, one more quick one.
Let's do Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one.
Ah, the power of presence.
Precisely. How you carry yourself, your confidence, the expectations you project that determines how people treat you. Acting vulgar or common, always seeking approval, that diminishes you.
But acting regally.
Confidently projecting self-worth, an aura of destiny. You make yourself seem destined to wear a crown. It influences how people perceive you. It connects right back to Law 5 on reputation and image.
Like Queen Elizabeth I, cultivating that image of authority.
Perfect example. Her regal demeanor, her careful appearances projected power even when things were shaky. So you see the unifying thread.
It seems to be all about understanding human psychology.
A very keen understanding, yes. And a willingness to manipulate perceptions, control information, influence actions, all for your own advantage. It boils down to control.
Control through direct action, subtle influence, or just mastering human nature.
That's the essence of it.
Okay, so to wrap up our deep dive into the 48 Laws of Power, we've seen it's way more than just a self-help book.
Definitely not typical self-help.
It's a strategic playbook, right? A guide to understanding, navigating, and maybe subtly wielding influence in all sorts of contexts, personal, professional, even political.
And it pushes you to look at power dynamics differently, often counterintuitively, prioritizing indirect action, psychological games, careful appearances over just being direct or conventionally good.
And it's really crucial, as you said, that understanding these laws isn't the same as endorsing them or using them yourself.
Not at all. It's about awareness, recognizing these strategies when they're used by colleagues, public figures, institutions, historically or today.
It's about critical thinking, discernment.
Exactly. Spotting the patterns lets you navigate things better, whether you choose to avoid these tactics or maybe just defend yourself against them more effectively.
Now, a lot of critics say this book just promotes manipulation, cynicism, ruthlessness. How do Greene or his supporters respond to that? Does he address the ethical backlash?
That's a common criticism. Greene and his supporters often frame it differently. They argue the book is just a mirror, reflecting the often harsh realities of how power actually works. It's descriptive, not prescriptive.
So he's saying this is how it is, not this is how you should be.
That's the general argument,
Yeah.
that power dynamics themselves are fundamentally amoral. They just exist. He claims he's revealing how power has been and is used, for good or ill.
The idea being it's better to understand the mechanics, even the dark corners.
Right. So you can operate from informed realism, not naive idealism, whether that's to protect yourself, achieve noble goals, or just navigate ambition and competition effectively. It's presented as human nature, stripped bare.
Which leaves us with a final thought. Having explored these laws, what responsibility comes with knowing these potent principles of influence and control?
That's the big question, isn't it?
And in a world that claims to value transparency, authenticity, how much concealing and subtlety is really acceptable? Or maybe even necessary for success today?
Lots to chew on there.
Definitely. We've only really scratched the surface today. Greene's book is packed with detailed historical stories for every law. We really encourage you, if this sparked your interest, to explore the full text of the 48 Laws of Power and discover the idea being that a defined adversary, or someone who needs to prove themselves to you, is a more reliable, motivated asset than maybe an envious friend.
That's the core of it. It forces you to ask a tough question. Is human nature really so cynical that loyalty is more reliable from former adversaries than allies?
It is profoundly cynical. But, does Greene offer any exceptions? Does he acknowledge that real, genuine loyalty can exist even with friends? Or is it all just transactional?
He's pretty ruthless in his assessment. The book strips away a lot of the romantic notions about human connection when power is involved.
So no caveats?
Not really.
Oh, yeah.
His view is that power is fundamentally about self-interest, so you have to be constantly vigilant. He might concede genuine loyalty can exist, but sees it as rare, fragile, often weaker than envy or ambition.
So trust isn't inherent, it has to be strategically managed.
And constantly tested. He's not saying every friend will betray you, but that the risk is statistically higher because of their closeness and emotions.
Whereas the former enemy's need to prove themselves is more predictable.
More predictable, more controllable loyalty. So yeah, he really doubles down on the transactional nature. Cold calculation over warm feelings.
This is definitely one of those aha moments, or maybe an ouch moment that might make you rethink things. Your assumptions about loyalty, alliances.
Especially when building a team or network.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What does this suggest about who you bring into your inner circle? Who do you hire for that critical job?
Do you hire the old college buddy?
Right. The friend you've always helped. Or do you hire the person who was once a competitor, someone who needs to earn your trust and show they're valuable?
Let's take that company scenario. CEO needs a new head of ops. Candidate A, old college friend, longtime associate, comfortable relationship. Candidate B, former rival, highly competitive, eager to prove themselves in this new place.
According to law, too.
The rival, candidate B, might paradoxically be the more reliable, more loyal choice. Their motivation to excel and demonstrate commitment is higher.
While the friend might be more prone to complacency or even envy down the line.
That's the harsh logic Greene presents.
Okay, building on that theme of strategic interaction and maybe the dangers of being too open, let's talk Law 3. Conceal your intentions.
Another classic Greene move. Keep them guessing.
Exactly. The law stresses keeping people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. Why? To stop them from preparing a defense.
Makes sense.
Greene says, guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelop them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late.
The strategic advantage there is massive. If your opponents don't know your real goal, how can they possibly mount an effective defense? They can't counter what they can't see.
So how do you do it? What are the tactics?
Greene talks about using decoyed objects of desire and red herrings. Basically, you create a false trail.
A divert.
Exactly. A plausible but misleading objective that draws all their attention and resources while you're actually focused elsewhere. Like military feints make them think you're attacking point A, but your real target is point B.
And the smoke screens.
That's about creating confusion. A flurry of activity, misleading narratives, maybe starting lots of small, irrelevant projects to hide the critical one. Generating gossip even? Making your true goal invisible in the haze.
The aim is surprise.
Total surprise ensures control. By the time they figure out what you're really up to, their defenses are down, maybe their resources are tied up elsewhere, and it's too late for them to stop you.
Now, we should probably mention the ethical side here.
Yes. It's important to note, just reporting on the source material, that this law explicitly promotes manipulation and deceit. It's not about fair play.
It's purely about strategic advantage through deception. We're just explaining Greene's point, not endorsing it. So think about this in your own world. Negotiations, maybe just managing expectations on a team. How often do people get caught off guard because they just assume everyone's being transparent?
Happens all the time. People assume the stated goal is the real goal.
This law argues for the complete opposite. Strategic ambiguity. Consider a business example. A company makes a big show of investing in, say, upgrading an older technology. Lots of marketing, press releases.
The smoke screen. The decoy.
Right. It gets competitors focused on reacting to that. Meanwhile, secretly, they're pouring all their real resources into a totally different revolutionary product.
Something completely unexpected.
And by the time rivals realize the true intention may be launching a disruptive product in a whole different market, it's often too late for them to pivot and catch up.
The surprise gives them an insurmountable lead, all thanks to concealing intentions.
Okay, next up, a law that's pretty blunt, maybe brutally honest. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit.
Ah, yes. The ultimate delegation strategy, perhaps.
You could call it that. Greene says, use the wisdom, knowledge, and legwork of other people to further your own cause. Not only will such assistance save you valuable time and energy, it will give you a godlike aura of efficiency and speed.
A godlike aura. Wow.
And then the kicker, in the end, your helpers will be forgotten and you will be remembered. Never do yourself what others can do for you. It's pragmatic, maybe ruthless.
It's certainly unapologetically focused on personal advancement. Forget fairness, forget shared credit. This is about efficiency and image.
How so?
By getting others to do the actual work, the research, the creative stuff, the hard labor, you save your own valuable time and energy. But it's more than just saving effort.
It's about the image.
Exactly. It creates this impression that you're a master strategist, a visionary who achieves amazing things with seemingly little personal effort, almost godlike in making results appear.
The genius isn't in doing, but directing and taking credit.
And crucially, taking the credit. Greene gives historical examples like Renaissance patrons commissioning artists. The artist did the work. The patrons got the glory.
Or political leaders with brilliant advisors.
Right. Advisors craft the plans, the leader announces them, claims success, gets remembered for the vision. The explicit goal is that your helpers will be forgotten and you will be remembered.
It's pretty stark. The helpers are just tools for your own glory.
It's delegation taken to an extreme where the benefits flow entirely one way. The glory is monopolized. What's really fascinating here is just how direct it is. Take full credit. Advance yourself, don't worry about fairness.
Strips away any pretense of teamwork.
Lays bare the transactional, maybe exploitative side of power as Greene sees it.
This law really pushes boundaries, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How many times have you seen this happen? Someone effectively applying this, maybe without even knowing Greene's law.
You see variations of it constantly.
Think about a project manager. They delegate everything. Coding, writing, design, maybe even the client updates. They guide the vision, manage timelines.
But they don't do the grunt work.
Right. Then project's done. It's presentation time. The manager steps up, presents this polished final product as their achievement.
They might give a quick thanks to the team.
Yeah, general nod. But the real praise, the recognition from higher-ups, according to this law, goes straight to the manager for their godlike aura of efficiency and speed.
And the individual helpers, their specific hard work, it fades into the background. The manager is remembered and rewarded.
Okay, let's shift focus a bit. Moving beyond just words, thinking about long-term strategy. Let's explore Law 9. Win through your actions, never through argument.
This is a really insightful one, I think. Very practical.
It advises, any momentary triumph you think you have gained through argument is really a Pyrrhic victory. What's a Pyrrhic victory again?
It's a victory that costs so much, it's basically a defeat. Like winning a battle, but losing so many soldiers, you can't win the war.
Got it. So winning an argument is like that
because Greene says, the resentment and ill will you stir up is stronger and lasts longer than any momentary change of opinion.
Ah, so even if you win the debate.
You've probably bruised their ego, made them feel stupid, created bitterness. That resentment sticks around long after they've verbally agreed with you. They might agree on the surface, but resist underneath.
So arguing is counterproductive in the long run.
Often, yes. The real power, Greene argues, lies elsewhere. It is much more powerful to get others to agree with you through your actions without saying a word.
Let results speak for themselves.
Exactly. Instead of debating endlessly why your new strategy is better, just implement it on a small scale. Let the positive results convince people. The principle is clear. Demonstrate, do not explicate.
Show, don't tell.
Precisely. Build a prototype, run a successful pilot, consistently get better results. Connect that to the bigger picture. This is about long-term influence, changing minds fundamentally, not just winning a verbal sparring match.
It bypasses the ego clashes.
Right. People are much more persuaded by what they can see and experience than by logical arguments, especially if those arguments make them feel defensive.
That's so true. I remember a professor who'd end by just showing the data. No yelling, Just here it is.